Good evening, everyone. This is Tom. I'm back live. It's Tuesday evening, 7:30 local time here in Thailand. And I just want to make sure that you guys can hear me. I'm going to double check on my profile if the video is visible and if the audio is there as well. Yeah, sounds good. All right. Okay, guys, today I got some cool stuff, and I want to dive right into it. Today's topic, I'm going to put it on my brand new whiteboard, is 9 reasons why failure teaches us more than success, and what failure teaches us actually. So I'm going to put that on the whiteboard real quick. Failure, right? So failure. What failure teaches us? Yeah, failure. A lot of people are afraid of failing. And it's quite interesting because we don't really have to be afraid of failure. Failure is a big part of our life. And actually, as a matter of fact, failure is a very, very important part of our life, because without failure, we would not succeed. And let me check. I want to share this real quick on my other profile so that the people in my group can see it as well. There we go, share. And there we go, perfect, okay. All right, so the topic of today, I already got the information in the description of today's live, and I just want to show you something real quick. 9 reasons why failure teaches us more than success, and what failure actually teaches us, right? And I want to go through all 9 parts of it with you together. And I'm just going to dive right in, and we're going to start with the number 1. Other approaches could work better, right? So it could be very well that something you initially considered and then rejected would work better than what you tried, which means without trial and error, you don't really know if the things that you're trying to do will lead to success. But you will figure it out if you fail in some parts, right? And the more that you fail, the better you get in the things that you're actually trying to do. Take it, for example, when we were children, right? Our parents teach us, do not do these things, don't go there, or don't touch the stove because the stove is very hot. And usually we don't really listen to our parents, and we still try to touch the stove, right? And then we burn our hands, which is basically failure. It hurts, right? And that's one of the best lessons that we can learn, because we might not listen to what other people tell us, but we will definitely feel the pain, and from pain we learn. And failure is comparable to pain, right? It's not a nice thing to fail, but yet it will make us stronger, right? So that's for number 1. Other approaches could work better. So, and you will only figure that out when you fail. So try as many times and as often as necessary to figure out if something is working out for you or not. Number 2, failures always come before success, right? You might not only look at history to see what failure always comes before success, right? Many successful people that we look up today have been failing many, many times in their previous life, or in their lives in the past. And it was a process that they were going through, right? Some of the world's greatest innovators didn't succeed at the first time. Neither did architects, engineers, automotive designer, chefs, painters. There's so many people out there, politicians, and so on. One very nice example is Anthony Bourdain. He used to be a drug addict, and he was addicted to heroin, and yet he became one of the most known chefs on this planet. He had a very nice TV show, and unfortunately he passed away just, I think, 2 years ago. But yet he was one of those persons, or one example of failing. Or Steve Jobs. Take Steve Jobs. He was working for Apple, and he got fired. And later he came back and he took over Apple, and he had to fail. I mean, and that's something many of these successful people actually say. It Without those failures, without the times that they actually lost and didn't succeed, right? That actually was the part that made them stronger. It had to be like that. Russell Brunson of ClickFunnels is actually saying the same thing. He said he failed, I don't know, like 6, 7, 8, 9 times with the businesses that he started, and he went almost bankrupt a couple of times. But what actually saved him was the fact that he was failing, and from failure he learned, and he grew stronger afterwards. And now he's running a business, ClickFunnels, that is making almost over $500 million in revenue this year so far, and very likely they're going to hit the 1 billion revenue this year. So, but again, he's saying it took him the failure that he had to go through to actually get to get all this knowledge that he needed to run a business like that. Otherwise, he would have crashed ClickFunnels. Without the failure that he went through in the past, he would have crashed ClickFunnels within just a few days, and it would have been unsuccessful, right? So definitely failure, a very big part and very important for us, because before success, you have failure. Take the bicycle. You ride a bicycle as a child, you fall many times. As a baby, you crawl, and yet when you start to walk, you pull yourself up on a table, and you might walk 1 or 2 steps, and then you fall, which is fail, right? But you try it over and over again, and now we can all walk upright, and that's the beauty of making failure to success, right? All right, number 3, failure teaches us more than success ever could. As I already mentioned, failure means that you actually really tried, and that you put effort in a project that you tried in the best way you know it. And if it didn't work out, well, so what? I mean, how many people tried something and, well, it might have failed, right? As I said, many successful people in the past or nowadays, they went through this whole process of failing, trying, trial and error. That's another word, right? Another very well-known sentence, trial and error. The more you do, the more you train, the better you get, and the more professional you become, right? So trying and failing have become 2 of our most important teachers. Unfortunately, school teaches us something completely different, and in school, failure is being punished. That's why I believe that our schooling system doesn't represent the modern society as it should be. Children should not be punished for making mistakes. Actually, children should be encouraged to do failure, because that's the best way of learning, right? Not getting grades in school and get an F for not knowing something, or if you ask for help, they call you a cheater. But basically, that's what we need when we play in a team, right? Team players need other people to become strong, right? A team is only as strong as the weakest link. So the more that you can rely on your teammates, the better you get, right? And again, failure, right? You have to be strong, and you have to fail. You have to practice over and over again to become successful. It's very simple, it's very easy, and it's no magic, basically. All right. Number 4. Number 4 teaches us the value of everything. Failure teaches us the value of everything after having lost, for example, after you lost a loved one, right? We value those people much more. Sometimes we take things very granted if we have them around all the time. We don't call the people that are close to us as often as we should. We don't tell the people that we love that we actually love them until they're gone, and then we regret we didn't do those things, right? And It's the same thing, the value that we have for people, for money, for homes, for relationships, and also for the business, right? So failure teaches us a lot about the value of everything in life, right? And another thing is if you never really fail in anything, you don't really understand the value of things. You don't really understand how important it is to work your butt off for something, right? To give 100% of your energy. Arnold Schwarzenegger said the other day that when he was coming to the United States, everyone said that he would be failing. They didn't really believe that he would succeed because of his strong accent. They said that it is mainly impossible because he cannot act. So what he was doing is he went to work. First of all, he got up at like 4 or 5 o'clock in the morning. He slept only 6 hours per night, and he had 18 hours of the day, which he structured. And even when he failed, like every time when someone, you cannot do that, what he heard is, you can do it, right? And that's part of also failure, right? A lot of people see failure. You have a strong accent, you build like a machine, you're definitely not going to make it to Hollywood, or maybe people have told you cannot do that, right? Never let someone discourage you. Nobody should ever tell you that you cannot do anything or something. Always believe in yourself and try, go for it. And even if you fail, get up again. That's the most important thing. You need to get up again and try again and over again until you actually succeed. So next part, number 5, is each and every failure also has new opportunities, right? Like the saying goes, every cloud has a silver lining. When we fail, we also have an opportunity to start fresh. And we don't necessarily see what is good about failure immediately, but that gives us an opportunity to hit the restart button and to think about new possibilities again, right? Yeah, it's like with everything in life, right? You might not succeed in one thing, brush it off, get up again, start all over, and maybe the next time you'll succeed, right? Number 6, basically, is failure is always better than regret. There's a nice information and a nice story that I can share with you, actually. When I moved to Thailand, before I moved to Thailand, I was working as a travel agent for one of the largest tour operators in the world, called TUI. And I was working in that industry for almost a decade. And I had a pretty good job. I was working as assistant shop manager. I had a very nice salary. They sent me on so-called fam trips at least once or twice per year. Fam trips are actually, you get invited by the tour operator to go into the destination area, and you can live in all those hotels. You can, and everything is for free, right? They pay you the flight, they pay you the hotels. You get to know the destination area, and that's information that you can provide to the customer. So that's why tour operators invite travel agents on so-called fam trips. And through those fam trips, I discovered my love for Thailand. And in the beginning, I never really wanted to come here because I had the stereotype thinking of Thailand with old men and young girls and young boys. And but then I came here the first time in 2013, and then immediately fell in love with the country and the culture, and I was completely stunned by everything. And from then on, I came once or twice per year. Every time I had vacation, I came to Thailand. And throughout that time, I got to know the management of the hotel that I was staying at, and they offered me a job as the executive assistant manager, which is the number 2 in the hotel. And I had to decide relatively quickly because they said they need me within the next 6 to 8 weeks. And well, I was there. That was the opportunity that I was always working for and waiting for. And I signed the contract. I went back to Germany. I quit my job. I sold my car. I gave up my apartment, sold all the things that I got over the time. all the material stuff that people think that they need, but you don't need material stuff. What you need is health and happiness. And many people back then in Germany, they asked me, Tom, are you crazy? I mean, you give up so many things, right? You move to a new country, you don't speak that language, and it is so dangerous. You could fail, right? And I always said, well, I don't see it that way. I don't think that I can fail. I do believe that there's one thing that is much more that is more heavy than failure, which is regret. I might have this chance only once in my lifetime, and when I grow old, I'm going to regret all those things that I did not do in my life. I'm not going to regret those things that I did do and I might have failed, because you probably forget about those things that you failed at. What you're going to remember is the things that you succeeded in, the good stuff, and the things that you actually wanted to do. So I believe that regret is a much heavier weight that we have to carry with us than failure. So do yourself the favor and don't regret things, but fail and learn from failure and grow. And even if like when I went to Thailand, even if things wouldn't have worked out for me, I could have gone back to Germany, and you could say I have failed, but actually I would have gained. I would have gained experience, and that would have made me even stronger than the person I was before. So no matter how big the failure might seem to you in the moment, always see the outcome, basically. Every failure is basically something good because you learn from it, you grow with it, and that's the beauty about failure in my personal opinion. So number 6 is one of my favorites. Failure is always better than regrets, right? The number 7, there is no right way. Life is not a simple math problem, and there are no correct answers. There might be things out there that work for me, but they don't necessarily have to work for you. Or a path that I've been walking that was successful for me could be a complete failure to you, right? So it's very important that you don't believe that you have to do things in a certain way because everyone else was doing it. That might have worked for them, but it doesn't necessarily have to work for you. And you might find your own way, which is even better because that makes the whole thing unique. And people want to follow you because of your uniqueness, right? So this is something very, very important in my opinion as well. There is no right way. You can only do it your way, and each and every person is doing it in a different way, and that's the beauty about success, right? Everyone finds his own success formula by trial and error, by doing those things that need to be done. Maybe not everyone could have been the next Steve Jobs, right? It must have been Steve Jobs, or take Elon Musk, right? A lot of people think he's crazy, and people told him he will never succeed with Tesla, and the automobile industry was laughing at him. And now look at Tesla today. More and more people shift from regular cars with engines to electric cars, and that's the future. Especially after COVID-19, I've experienced a lot of recovery in nature. Here in Thailand, a lot of areas in the south, for example, that used to be crowded by jet skis every day and hundreds of boats with tourists going into the islands close to PP Island, and where they shot the beach with Leonardo DiCaprio. And it was wonderful 20 years ago. It was a paradise, and over the past 20 years with the mass tourism, everything was destroyed. Wildlife was almost vanished. And within just a few weeks of the COVID-19 outbreak, people are not coming anymore, and the nature is recovering itself. So a lot of people actually understand that the way that we've been living in the past, 50 years or so, or 100 years, is not retainable, and we need to find a way. And electric cars are, in my opinion, definitely an option or the option for the future, right? And same with the SpaceX technology that Elon Musk developed. NASA was laughing at him. Now NASA actually hired him to bring astronauts back to the ISS. And this guy had a vision. He failed a couple of times, big time, but he always got up again and tried to make the best out of the situation and to succeed. And at the end, he was the one who was winning. And now big car industries, they look at him and they realize that he has a much bigger advantage than they do have at the moment, and would take them years to catch up to the technology that they're using at Tesla, right? So there's no right way, there's only your way, and you have to try to find your way and fail and keep on trying and keep on pushing forward until you find your personal way to success, right? Number 8, courage. It takes a lot to deal with failure and to get back up. Failure teaches us to be courageous, and when you have nothing more to lose, then you have to gain. And here's a nice anecdote. I was talking to my dad the other day. My dad, he owns 2 small community malls back in Germany. And when he started to become like his entrepreneurship, I think he was 32 or 34 by the time. That was sometimes in the 60s. So he grew up during World War II. And back then, a lot of things have been very easy. And he was producing trailer for the airport where they put the luggage in, right? And those trailers, they needed to be galvanized, and the process that he was doing was not perfect. He didn't have the machinery, how to do it. He got some information, and according to that information, he tried it. And the guy who was actually taking, who's doing the control check on the products that he produced for the airport, he was an older guy, and he saw that actually my dad screwed up. And he actually let him pass. He knew there is a failure in the galvanization process, but yet he still let my dad pass, and he got that big deal. And I just talked to my dad about this whole topic a few days ago, and I asked him, what would have happened if this guy wouldn't have helped you back then? And he said, well, I would have lost everything because I put everything I had into that business. And I probably would have been discouraged in a way that I wouldn't have tried it again. My entrepreneurship journey, right? And I would have taken a job somewhere at a company and work as an employee. And lucky for him, the universe bent over and he got his opportunity, and he got the deal with that company. He produced those cards for many, many years, and later he realized his fable for real estate and becoming a landlord and renting out stuff. But you can see sometimes it is, as I already mentioned in the description a little bit later, failure is a double-edged sword that can either make or break an entrepreneur, right? And it takes courage once you failed to get back up. And I think that's one of the most important things for each and every one of us in life. It doesn't have to be in entrepreneurship or in whatever your own business. It has to do with everything that we do in life. Take relationships, for example. You might have a crush on a certain lady or a guy, right? And then you take all your courage and you ask that person out on a date and you get a no. And you're crushed, right? It feels very disturbing, and it's a very horrible feeling to get rejected and not to get what you actually want. But yet it might hurt. And or you had a relationship, right? You've been in a relationship for maybe a year or two, and maybe even longer. And then suddenly you realize, wait a minute, maybe that's not the person that I want to spend the rest of my life with. And you guys break up, and it hurts. It hurts bad. I've been there before. I know how it feels. But at the end, it is temporary. It is something that we have to go through. It makes us stronger, and we need to get back up on our feet. And with pride and with courage, we can do these things, and then we ask the next person that we might be interested in, and that could be the one that we're actually going to marry and stay together with for the rest of our lives. But if we don't get back up again, we might end up in a very miserable life, blaming each and every one around us for not being successful. And I know those people. I have family, a relative that is like that, right? He'd been through a lot of things. He had a relationship, or actually two relationships when he was younger, and both relationships didn't turn out the way that he wanted it, and that crushed him. He never got back up again, and he's always blaming each and every one out there, but he's not trying to be courageous to get back up again and try it again and again until he succeeds, right? And that's life. That's the survival of the fittest, right? This whole process that we all go through is based on the same things. You need to fail, you get up again, you try it again, you might fail again, get up again, and sooner or later, you will find your way, you will find your perfect niche, you will find your business, and if you're lucky enough, you're gonna make millions in that business, right? But without trial, without actually going there and really, really trying hard and never giving up, never listen to the naysayers, without all that, you will just end up somewhere, but not where you really want to be, right? So, and for courage, I have one quote from the movie Rocky Balboa, which is very inspiring because Rocky says this quote: "Our greatest glory is not in failing, but in rising every time we fall." And I think that's the scene when Rocky is talking to his son. And that is something very, very beautiful, I believe, and very, very true, right? The greatest glory is not in failing, but in rising every time we fall, which is basically what I described before. You need to get up again, and that is the glory, not the failure, right? Falling is part of life. Right. Number nine, be fearless. Don't be afraid to fail, right? When you embrace failure, you are on the path to success. Don't be afraid of failure. We failed so many times when we were children. That's one of the reasons why we're walking today. If you can ride a bicycle, I'm pretty sure you failed several times, and maybe you got some bruises and some scars left over. When we try to learn to swim, it's always related with failure. Finding the perfect match in our life, the perfect partner that we're going to spend the rest of our lives together with, it's also combined with failure. It's a part of it. Everything that we do, it's like the yin and the yang, right? We need failure in our lives to succeed, to be successful, to do the things that we really thrive for. And only with failure we become the person that we actually want to be. So I encourage you, set yourself goals and don't give up just because you failed once or maybe twice, but do it over and over again and try it in different ways. Because as I said before, there is no wrong or right way, there's only your way, and you need to figure out your own personal way by failing and trial and error until you actually got it right, right? Right. Well, I think that's all for today. We've been through all the 9 reasons of failure, and if you want to learn more about this whole thing, not just failure, but if you want to be more successful, and if you want to learn proven techniques of how you could actually take your business online, if you would like to have a business online. And in those times that we're in with COVID-19 and the future that we are going to have with the new normal, I highly recommend you to think about this option. Actually create your own online business. Maybe you have a product that you want to sell. Maybe you have an idea that you would like to share with the world. And even if you don't have your own products, there are ways that you can make money online. And I've mentioned it a couple of times before. I'm creating an online course, and you can see here in the description right now, you can sign up for my free masterclass at tomgreaves.com/sign up. This is content that I've learned throughout the last couple of years from some of the top marketers in the world. People like T. Harv Eker, Tony Robbins, Robert Kiyosaki, Russell Brunson, Mark Joyner, just to name a few. And all the stuff that I've been learning and all the difficulties that I went through, all the failure that I went through, I put everything into this course, or I am actually putting everything into this course. And I try to prevent you to make the same mistakes that I did. And that's why I created this online course called Internet Marketing or Online Marketing for Absolute Beginners. So if you have no experience whatsoever with online marketing, online business, affiliate marketing, and words like these seem to be something that you never heard of, or maybe you heard of it and you try to get some information, but it seemed to be very confusing, I recommend you sign up for free. The sign-up page is online until May 15th at 11:59 Pacific Standard PM. And get your seat as long as they're free. After this first round, I will definitely charge for this course. It will be $297. It will be several weeks, and I'll go through everything step by step. I'll teach you everything, how to set a URL, how to do email marketing, how to create your own offer, how to offer stack. I'll teach you everything that I've learned throughout the past couple of years, and I'm really looking forward to this. I want to share as much of the knowledge that I've earned, and especially in times like these, I think it's important to give something to share, right? That's why I give it away for free at the moment. And because it is still in the beta version, which means I'm creating, and I would like to get some feedback from you guys, what I could change, or maybe there are some things that you recommend me to put into that course for the future so that more people could benefit from the knowledge that I share. That's why I give it away for free at the moment. And please go ahead, sign up, tomgreaves.com/sign up, right, to get access to this free masterclass for online marketing for beginners. If you have a little bit experience in online marketing, you still can sign up. I'm pretty sure that I have a lot of stuff and content that you haven't heard of yet, and you might benefit from this as well. So go ahead. If you always dreamed about taking your business online, if you are good in doing something, maybe you can video edit or photo editor, or I don't know, maybe you're a good chef, and don't put those ideas down. Don't judge for other people. If you tell yourself, well, I can only cook, well, maybe that doesn't seem to be special to you, but it might be special to those people that cannot cook. And if you can teach them something in your way that is reaching those people that other people cannot do, because everyone is unique and everyone has some kind of superpower, right? So this is your calling, guys. Take this opportunity, spread your message with the world. These are the best times, even though it's a crisis, I know, and things are not as easy as they used to be. But believe me, it will not get any easier. It might get even more difficult in the next couple of weeks and months and years because of the new normal, right? And our governments will let us down. Sooner or later, you will be on your own. And the sooner you begin creating something for yourself, for your loved ones, the better it is, and the more successful you will be in a shorter period of time, all right? I'm not promising that you're gonna make millions, but I'm definitely gonna promise you that you will be able to launch an online business that could generate revenue for you in a way that you have the opportunity to actually decide, if you are working as an employee at the moment, to neither have this as an extra income every month, or maybe your online business is getting to a point that you earn more money with the online business than you would do with a regular job, and then you can decide which way you want to go, right? But now is the time, get going, and I will be back live. Today is Tuesday. I will do another live on Thursday, so in 2 days from now, and then another one on Sunday. And maybe you have some ideas of what I could talk about in my next live call. If that's the case, if there's something that you would like to know, please send me a comment in the comment box or reach out to me through my private message and let me know what I could talk about in my next live call. And as I promised, I will put more time and effort in these live calls. I hope this was some kind of useful for you. And let me know what you think about today's 9 reasons of why failure actually is very important in our lives. And I'm looking forward to see you again on Friday evening. All right. Thursday evening. Sorry. Thursday evening. So 2 days from now. And thank you for tuning in. And stay safe, stay healthy, and I'll see you soon. All right. Take care. Bye-bye.